Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another video. Today's video, it is going to be the first of 3 videos for the newest patch, Paladins Constellations, and also, well, the patch where Caspian is introduced. Caspian, our newest flank on the realm with around, I believe, 2,100 HP. I have here some information that I want to share with you guys. So first, let's talk about his abilities real quick. He has 2 main fires, technically speaking. It's primary fire and alternative fire. The main fire is a little pistol. It's called Love. And his sword, which is his alternative fire, which is called War. It's similar to what Moji does, where both sides actually have an interaction with each other. So basically, in short terms, a way for you to understand, if you use your left click, sorry about the phone, if you use your left click and you hit shots, your right click will now be buffed when it comes to speed. If you use your right click and you hit shots, your left click will be buffed. So just so you have a more technical form of this, hitting an enemy with Love, which is your left click, gives you a stack of piercing momentum, increasing the rate of fire of War, which is your right click, by 8% for 5 seconds, maximum of 5 stacks, and each stacks expires independently. So you have to constantly be refreshing, because you do not have an effect where you shoot once, it goes to 5 seconds. Imagine you're already at 4 seconds and you shoot again and it now refreshes those 5 seconds. No, those 5 seconds for that first stack will eventually disappear. And the same thing happens here on the right side. Okay, one is for the stacks of piercing momentum, which makes your right click faster, and the sharp momentum makes your left click faster. Okay, so sharp as in slash, your sword, this is important for the rest of the abilities, will make your pistol shoot faster. Your piercing stacks will make your sword faster. So sharp for sword, piercing for the pistol. Okay, simple. Now, every time you want to shoot the pistol, it will actually consume 3 ammo. It will deal 350 damage per shot, and it slows people down by 10% for 2 seconds. That will actually stack up to 3 times at max. It is fully effective at 100 units, and it will actually share the same ammo with the sword. So you will have to be a bit more careful. It's not just spam everything. I mean, you can try to get deft hands, obviously, but it will consume more ammo, the pistol, than the sword, obviously. So that's something to be careful with. Now, the pistol itself looks pretty bad, but the thing is, the more you use your pistol, the faster is your sword. So it kind of is interesting for you to use both of them. And the more you use your right click, your sword, the faster your pistol also shoots. So that is very interesting. Also considering that your pistol does slow people down. All right, so let's go in here and take a look into his shooting abilities. This is his model here real quick. Okay, in game, looks pretty damn cool. And here he is when he's on the mount with his hand like that. This is the pistol and the sword. I'm guessing he's going to have some interesting skins in the future. As you can see, shooting is very slow and it doesn't do a lot of damage. So it's similar to what happens with Moji. It just doesn't have any damage amp. Instead, it will actually buff the speed of your right click, which is actually very interesting, considering that might be considered your real weapon because of how strong it is. Now, if we just pull it here enough, we're going to be able to see the animations. You can see, and this is the reload. The reload literally is just like shaking around his weapons or something. And as you can see, every sword swing, apparently one of them does like 2. So you saw there that it was 5 and it went to 2. It's consuming 3 ammo every time, and I believe that the sword is consuming 1 ammo every time. Also, there is a little bit of a little symbol right there on top of his Q. His Q is almost like a piercing eminence sort of shot. Okay, it's called Rogue's Tempo, and it says shoot out a piercing projectile that travels more quickly based on the total number of your piercing and sharp momentum stacks. So it will always stun people as long as you have stacks. But if you have 0 stacks, you get no stacks at all from using your main fire, your left click, or your right click. What it will do instead, it will slow people down. It will pierce through and do 750 damage at every person that it hits through. Obviously, I'm guessing it will not pierce through shields. But the more stacks you have, it will consume up to 8 stacks. You can have 10, 5 on each one of your weapons, obviously. It doesn't matter. It will consume 8, apparently. And it will stun person. You just need 1 stack and it stuns a person. Okay? So here he's going to use it here when he goes up on the stairs here. He's going to be looking into the side, and right now he's going to use it, and boom, there it is. So there you go. It stunned it because it used some of the stacks. Let me just see here. Go back just 1 second. Okay, so it does not consume the stacks. What it does, it takes advantage of how many stacks you have, but it does not consume it. So that's good to know. All right, his movement ability has 2 charges. It's called Deadly Momentum. He basically spins in the little tornado to the area you're looking at. You can go into the sky with it, by the way. It will deal 300 damage. It will knock back enemies' hits during the dash. And at the end, he will basically stop and swirl, spin around and deal 450 damage to enemies in an area and reduce the cooldown of this ability for 1 second for each enemy hit. So the more people you hit, the less cooldown you have. If you don't hit anything, then yeah. It also has that little bit of a 1 second lockout in the end, as you probably already noticed. So yeah. You can also reactivate this ability earlier to stop and swirl sooner. So if you really want to use it right there in the place, right there to their face, you can just do it. Obviously, I would suggest not doing it, because if it has knockback, it's always interesting to just keep pushing the people in the direction you want. Now let's talk about his ultimate. His ultimate is basically 5 swords that will show up around you for a limited time. Every time you shoot, either you left click or you right click, one of the swords will leave with it and deal 800 damage. So right now they should be using it, and here it is. You got the 5 swords. Every time he's using one of his fires, one of the swords will leave, but obviously there is a limited time, so I advise you to use it. I do not know if it will keep percentage based on how many swords you have used or not, so yeah. Now let's talk about his talents. The first talent, the default talent, is called Measured Cadence, and it fires a weaker copy of Rogue's Tempo, which is his Q, from your crosshairs for every 6 ammo consumed. So you can literally shoot 2 pistol shots and have a little smaller Q being shot at the same time. So this is good for if you want to do a little bit more with your pistol. Level 2 talent is Everywhere at Once. The cooldown of Deadly Momentum is currently set to 5 seconds. Cannot be modified, reduced, or increased throughout other means. Gain 1 stack of piercing and sharp momentum for each enemy hit with Deadly Momentum. So it'll be more of a flank with this ability. You cannot reduce it even more, so Chronos will literally be worthless for this, but you have stacks for every person you hit, which is amazing, because you can just save yourself some time of having to shoot a couple of people. You can get multiple stacks at the same time and having them work for the 5 seconds at the same time, instead of like shoot, it will all be like 3 or 4 stacks at the exact same second, which is fantastic because it depends on the enemies you hit. Then his final talent, the talent level 8, it's got some heft. That's the name, I don't understand. Oh, it's right now on the screen. Increase the range and damage of War, but decreases its fire rate. That's the War is his sword, by the way. War's attacks now pierce enemies and deals an additional 20% to each enemy hit for each enemy hit in total with your attack. So it's basically Scorch, but the sword basically shoots slower, but it does pierce through enemies. So it's like Yomi from, from Our Boy Zen. Now, I could show you a couple of cards, but I'm gonna just name a few. He has a card, for example, to extend the duration of piercing momentum stacks by hitting with War. So the stacks that you have for your pistol will actually last longer, depending on how many points you put in this. You can heal after hitting enemies with War, by just hitting people with the War with a sword. You actually get healed. You can also increase your reload speed for 3 seconds after hitting an enemy with War. Each stack of piercing momentum can heal you after it expires. So basically, you can get this card and the one from hitting people with War and just get constant heal all the time. Now, cards for his Love ability. Extend the duration of sharp momentum stacks, gaining by hitting with Love by percentage. Heal for X amount after hitting an enemy with Love. So basically the same amount of cards here. Increase the movement speed after hitting an enemy with Love. And so instead of being with Reload, like the one with war. Instead, you have the speed of your movement speed with love, which is fantastic. Each stack of star momentum grants you a shield for 3 seconds after it expires. You can have a constant shield by just making sure you have stacks expiring all the time. That's insane. Hitting an enemy with Rose Tempo grants you stacks of piercing momentums and sharps. Reduce the cooldown of deadly momentum by X seconds after hitting at least one enemy with Rogue's Tempo. Generate ammo after hitting at least one enemy with Rogue's Tempo. Gain credits for each enemy hit with Rogue's Tempo. Okay, that's a new card. And then finally, reduce the cooldown of deadly momentum by X amount of enemy hits by it. Increase the travel speed of deadly momentum. Decrease the travel distance of deadly momentum. And increase the size of reactivation whirl of the spin of the deadly momentum. Okay. Also, let's talk about the skins real quick. Hopefully they're going to show us right now. And here it is. This will be the skin that will be unlocked by direct purchase. 300 crystals or 60,000 gold. Okay. It's basically just a recolor. However, there was supposed to be some sort of a skin that was like Dia de los Muertos. You had like all these body tattoos of white and black, like the bones and so on. I don't know if they either just scrapped it or they're making it an appearance in later on. This is the skin for the season pass, obviously. So if you have the season pass of 2022, you will have this skin unlocked to you directly. It's an abyssal skin basically, and it looks pretty damn awesome. They're going to show us to us right now here. It has that reactive arm there, just like Rom's skin, which I love. It's very, very awesome. The cape in the back changes the symbol as well. And then finally, the golden skin that is also looking pretty damn dope. It's another one for my collection. Pretty damn looking good. Let's see it in game. The hair is actually more black and then gold tips than actually what the banner shows us, because the banner looks like it shows a little bit of red for some reason. Now, however, there are a couple things they didn't show exactly there, and I want to show you. This is one of his emotes where he throws off the weapons and then he just like swings his finger at you, like pointing at you. He has this, which is like sort of like a at your servers kind of you know, emote. You have the default MVP pose, and you got this one if you have the season pass. Obviously, this will also be in the season pass as well. And now, well, that's pretty much it for Caspian. However, I want to know what you guys think. Did you like Caspian? He's a flank, by the way, but it does sound more like a damage in a flank. Just like Betty, in a way, with her full mobility loadout, sounds more like a flank than a damage, although she has a lot of spam and a lot of damage, obviously, so that makes her more of a damage. But this champion looks like to have a lot more damage than it has, you know, mobility. Even his ultimate is an extra damage thing, so that's why it's so questionable for me. So I want to know what you guys think about this champion, so I can give the feedback back to the devs. Is there anything you would like to be, you know, to see changed? Is there anything you don't like on him? Do you feel like maybe it's too complicated, too easy? Do you not like the skins? Hey, here's a little thing: skin suggestions for Caspian. I'm waiting to see some skin suggestions in the comments down below, so I can suggest them to Thunderbrush, and I hope to see some good ideas. All right. Now stick around for the other two videos that I will be popping up soon enough. One of them will be for balance, and the other one will be for all the other content of skins and so on. So I'll see you guys there. Till then, don't forget to sub to the channel so you don't miss the upload of those two other videos. And I'll see you guys on the next time. Till then, have a wonderful time. I'm out. Bye-bye.